The rumor started on a Monday morning, right before homeroom, the kind of day where even the air feels like it's gossiping. By lunch, half the school was whispering that I was dating Ryan Carter, the guy who could make the principal laugh during detention. I laughed it off, of course. Who wouldn't? Ryan was the star of every talent show, the loudest voice in the hallway, the kind of guy who turned awkward silences into stand-up routines. Me? I was just Eli Park, the quiet senior with straight A's and a face teachers like to forget. We existed in different universes. Yet that afternoon, when he slid into the seat next to me in the cafeteria grinning like we shared some secret, the universe suddenly felt a lot smaller. "Hey, boyfriend," he said, loudly enough for the next table to hear. I almost choked on my sandwich. "What the hell, Ryan?" He winked, unfazed. "Just playing along with the rumors. Might as well make it look good, right?" Everyone around us burst into laughter. I tried to play it cool, but I could feel the heat crawling up my neck. Ryan basked in the attention, tossing out jokes like confetti, while I sat there wishing the ground would swallow me whole. But when the noise faded, I caught him looking at me not in his usual teasing way, but softly, almost apologetically, and just like that I was confused. That night I replayed everything, the smirk, the wink, the look. My brain told me it was all an act. My heart whispered otherwise. The rumors didn't stop. They grew, mutating into stories about hand-holding behind the gym, secret dates at the diner, and even a kiss behind the bleachers that absolutely never happened. Teachers gave us looks. My friends teased me. My mom asked if I was seeing someone. And Ryan, he kept leaning into it. Every joke, every nudge, every mock confession, he delivered them with perfect comedic timing, each one sending my pulse a little higher. One afternoon after class, I cornered him behind the auditorium. "Why are you doing this?" I demanded. He shrugged, leaning against the wall, sunlight catching the gold in his hair. "Because it's funny." "It's not funny to me." His grin faltered just a flicker. "Then what do you want me to do, Eli? Deny it? Tell everyone you're not my boyfriend?" "Yes," I blurted too quickly. He studied me, his expression unreadable. Then, quieter, "Would that make you happy?" I didn't know how to answer, because the truth, the ugly, inconvenient truth, was that a part of me didn't want him to stop. For weeks, we danced around each other in that strange, blurry space between rumor and reality. He'd joke, I'd roll my eyes. He'd steal my fries. I'd threaten to stab his hand with a fork. And sometimes when he thought no one was watching, I'd catch him staring at me like there was something real underneath all the laughter. It all came to a head during the spring talent show. Ryan was the headliner, as usual. The auditorium was packed, the air thick with anticipation. I sat in the third row, pretending not to care, but my stomach was in knots. When he walked onto the stage, mic in hand, I expected another round of impressions or absurd stories. But instead, he started talking about rumors, about how some of them hurt, how some of them made him realize things he hadn't been brave enough to admit. And then he looked straight at me. "I guess what I'm trying to say," he said into the mic, his voice steady but soft, "is that sometimes a joke stops being a joke when it becomes the truth." The room went dead silent. My heart was pounding so hard it drowned out the applause that followed. He found me backstage afterward, his eyes searching mine. "You okay?" "I don't know," I said honestly. He smiled, that same nervous one I'd seen just once before. "Because I meant it, Eli. Every word." The hallway felt too small, too full of air and possibility. I should have said something clever or cautious. Instead, I whispered, "Then stop joking about it." He stepped closer, his breath warm against my cheek. "What if I'm not joking anymore?" And for the first time in my life, I didn't feel like the quiet kid everyone forgot. I felt seen. Ryan didn't kiss me that night. He just looked at me long enough for everything inside me to turn upside down, and then he left. The next few days were strange. People had recorded his confession at the talent show, of course. It spread through the school faster than any rumor ever had. Some kids cheered him on, calling him brave. Others laughed or whispered behind lockers. I heard someone call me Ryan's Project. I pretended not to care. But the truth was, I didn't know what we were anymore. Ryan stopped joking about us in public, which should have been a relief except it wasn't. He smiled less, spoke less. During lunch, he sat with his comedy friends, and I stayed at my usual spot by the window, pretending to study. It felt like we'd both agreed to rewind everything to go back to being strangers. Only it didn't work. The air between us was too heavy with everything we hadn't said. On Friday, I found a note in my locker. Meet me on the football field after school. No name, but I knew who it was from. The bleachers were empty when I got there. The wind carried the smell of wet grass and old chalk lines. Ryan was standing at the 50-yard line, hands shoved deep in his jacket pockets, looking smaller than I'd ever seen him. I messed up, he said as soon as I approached. Yeah, I said quietly. You did. He laughed, but it was hollow. I thought if I made it a joke, it wouldn't scare me. You know? The way I feel. I looked at him, the guy who always made the world laugh but never let anyone see his cracks. And how do you feel? He met my eyes, no hesitation this time. Terrified, but also alive. Like I finally stopped pretending to be someone I'm not. The sky behind him was bleeding orange and purple. The world felt suspended, caught between daylight and darkness, between fear and something that looked like love. I stepped closer. You hurt me, Ryan. I know, and I hate that. I never meant to make you the punchline. For a long moment, neither of us spoke. The field was silent except for the creak of the old scoreboard and the distant hum of the town. Then he whispered, I'm sorry, Eli, for everything. I didn't forgive him right away, but when he looked at me, truly looked, I saw it. The sincerity, the fear, the same loneliness I'd carried for years. Then don't say sorry, I said. Just don't hide anymore. His eyes softened. You mean, I like you, idiot. Ryan froze, as if the words didn't compute. Then his grin returned, not the stage one, not the fake one, but something genuine and small. You sure you're not just saying that to make me the punchline now? I rolled my eyes. Shut up. He took a slow step forward, close enough that I could feel his warmth even through the cold air. For a moment, everything, the noise, the fear, the world just faded. And then, finally, he kissed me. It wasn't cinematic or dramatic. It was hesitant, awkward, real. Like two people who had spent too long pretending and were finally brave enough to stop. When we pulled apart, he rested his forehead against mine. So, does this mean the rumors were true after all? I laughed, an actual laugh this time. Guess so. By Monday, everyone knew. Of course they did. But for once, it didn't matter. Ryan didn't hide behind jokes anymore. He walked beside me in the hallway, fingers brushing mine, daring anyone to comment. A few people stared, a few whispered, but most didn't care. The world didn't end. That afternoon, we sat under the old oak tree behind the gym, the place where all this chaos had started months ago. The sun filtered through the leaves, painting his hair gold. Do you ever wish it hadn't happened? He asked suddenly. The rumors. He nodded. I thought for a moment. If they hadn't, maybe we'd still be strangers. He smiled. So, thank God for high school gossip. I nudged his shoulder. Don't push your luck. We sat there in comfortable silence for a while. The breeze carried the faint sound of a marching band rehearsing somewhere nearby. The world felt big again, but this time it didn't scare me. Ryan reached for my hand, just a small, quiet gesture, and I let him. His thumb traced circles against my skin, gentle and sure. I used to think laughter was the only thing that made life bearable, he murmured. But now, I think it's this, just sitting here, with you. I smiled, watching the last leaves drift down around us. You're getting sappy, Carter. He smirked. Guess love does that to people. And maybe it does. Because for the first time, I didn't feel like a rumor or a joke or the quiet kid in the corner. I just felt real, seen, loved. As the sun dipped behind the horizon, Ryan leaned his head on my shoulder, and for once, there were no jokes left to tell. Just the soft, steady rhythm of two hearts learning how to beat together, awkward, imperfect, and beautifully human. Thank you for listening. Don't forget to like and subscribe to stay updated with the latest videos.